welcome students from Kithimani Primary School, Yatta constituency, Machakos County, who are in the National Assembly this afternoon in the public gallery to observe our proceedings. You're welcome to the House. What is the point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to raise under Standing Order number 95, considering the immense contributions on this debate, and also the next agenda also talks about privatization. I wish to request that the mover is called to reply. Yes.
I will
It is similar to the next.
order, honorable members. I'm the one presiding over the House. I'm the one presiding over the House. Honorable Mwengi Mutuse will make his contribution, and at the end of his contribution, I'll put a question for a House decision on what has been raised by Honorable Mwengi Keitany, because that is what our standing orders say. Yes, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And if we may be heard in silence. Mr. Speaker, before I make my few points, allow me to disabuse some of the notions that have been put across by some of the colleagues that I respect a lot who have spoken before me. The very respected member, Dr. Aundo, seems to sensationalize this issue just because there has been cases in the past that have failed. And those sensationalism seems to stem from generalizations that are not particularly supported by the facts of the proposed privatization. Dr. Nikao, also a very respected colleague, with the caution to urge that you cannot also drive anticipating an accident. Mr. Speaker, as I say so, privatization is not a new phenomenon. It is not an invention of the broad-based government. It is not an invention of William Ruto. It began in 1992. And we have statutes, the Privatization Act, that speak to this, that have been legislated upon by this parliament. And like has been said before us, there are many cases of successful privatizations. And for that reason, and looking at the mood in the House, Mr. Speaker, I am in support of the point of order by Mwengi Keitany, that because of many of the contributions appear to be similar in support, that, yes, I am with us. Yes, I am with us. So that if it pleases you, Mr. Speaker, that the mover may be called upon to reply, and that we are given a chance to contribute in Standing Order number 14. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order, honorable members. This decision is yours to make, not the Speaker's. Honorable Mwengi Keitany, standing under Standing Order number 95, has requested that a question be put, that the mover be called upon to reply, and I so do. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. Yes, so mover. For those who wanted to talk to this matter, the next motion will be about the privatization bill, and we can elaborate more on those ideals. Yeah, mover, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to reply, and first allow me to extend my sincere appreciation to the House. Under your able leadership, I also wish to thank my co-chair, the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy, and indeed all the members of the two committees for the dedication and support they have demonstrated throughout the consideration of this report. Honorable Speaker, it's our expectation that the National Treasury will undertake the listing with the highest degree of transparency and integrity, We further urge that deliberate measures be put in place to ensure that ordinary Kenyans have the opportunity to participate in this IPO. These include effective marketing, accessible public communication, and affordable financing mechanism that empowers citizens to acquire shares. In this way, we will promote equitable ownership and ensure that the benefits of privatization are broadly shared across the nation. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Let those who need to take their seats do so. Honorable Soro, you will take your seat. You'll take your seat. I know the work you are doing is for the House, but now we take our seats and we make decision. Yeah, so, honorable members, I now put the question that this House adopts the joint report of the Departmental Committee on Energy and Select Committee on Public Debt and Privatization on the consideration of the sessional paper number 2 of 2025 on the proposed privatization of Kenya Pipeline Corporation Company Limited, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 14th August 2025, and 1, approves sessional paper number 2 of 2025 on the privatization of Kenya Pipeline Company Limited, and 2, makes policy resolution as contained in the schedule to the order paper. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. So would the majority leader approach the speaker? Yeah, call order number 14. Next order.
Order number 14, the privatization bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, second reading.
Mover. The leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the privatization bill, National Assembly Bill number 36 of 2025, be now read a second time. Honorable Speaker, by way of introduction, it's important to note that this is a very critical legislation or legislative initiative that presents a very conscious recalibration of our approach as a nation to the privatization of state-owned enterprises. Honorable Speaker, as you correctly alluded to, even the order that we have just concluded on order number 13, those who have not had the opportunity to contribute under this bill is also an opportunity to say what we may have to say about the privatization of state-owned enterprises. This bill is a direct response to constitutional and public governance imperatives and reflects lessons that we have learned from recent judicial determinations concerning the previous legal framework, Honorable Speaker, because as members, you remember, we did pass the Privatization Act of 2023, and Honorable Speaker, the Privatization Act of 2023, which intended to replace the older Privatization Act of 2005. And when we intended to modernize our privatization process, the act was challenged immediately. We passed it in court by a judgment that was delivered on September 24, 2024, in the case of Katiba Institute and others versus the Speaker of the National Assembly and others. The High Court declared that the Privatization Act of 2023 was unconstitutional, null and void. And the court found that Parliament had failed to conduct meaningful public participation and had undermined constitutional values of transparency, separation of powers, and legislative oversight, especially regarding sensitive decisions to divest state assets without parliamentary approval. And therefore, the decision restored the legal environment to the status quo that was there, therefore reverting to the 2005 Act. And this bill, therefore, Honorable Speaker, seeks to address the issues that were raised by the court. And indeed, I must take this opportunity to thank the chair of the Privatization Committee, the Honorable Shurie, and his committee for the very meticulous work that they put in to ensure that they addressed each and every of the issues that were raised by the court, and especially around the issue of public participation. And this bill has been drafted in a way that it bridges all those gaps that were identified and lays a very good foundation for a constitutionally grounded privatization framework for the country to move us forward. It once again establishes the Privatization Authority, as was there in the 2023 Act, as a professional and independent body tasked with advising the government on privatization matters, and also preparing proposals for privatization and overseeing the implementation of such privatization processes. Unlike its predecessor, or the Bill of 2023, this bill enshrines robust parliamentary and public participation safeguards, restoring the National Assembly's oversight role, and reinstates the requirement for parliamentary approval, not merely executive notification, before any privatization process can proceed. Honorable Speaker, that is very critical, because one of the issues that the court, many Kenyans raised, and even those who went to court, was on the question of public participation, which I have said was adequately addressed in the processing of this bill, and also the issues that have been raised in terms of the separation of powers between the executive and the legislature, and especially the question of removing the oversight role of parliament in terms of privatization matters. And therefore, this bill is restoring those powers to the National Assembly, that any privatization process in this country will not be a mere notification to the National Assembly of the privatization program by the executive, but they must seek approval from Parliament, and therefore it is only Parliament that can approve privatization processes, because as was said even in the previous proposal, Honorable Speaker, under Order number 13, this is a matter that touches on divestiture from public investments and public assets, and therefore the people's representatives have a role to execute. Honorable Speaker, that is what now this bill is doing. Honorable Speaker, the current